you'll never guess what I've done. So I started by adding some flour, sugar, and salt to a bowl. Then I added some yeast to some warm milk, gave it a good mix, and then I let it bloom. Now into the flour, I added some melted butter, and then my yeast and milk mix. Then it says to mix until a dough forms and then knead till smooth for about 3 to 5 minutes. Now I took this as literally kneading it with my hands, and I should have used the mixer. Here's also another step that I didn't pay attention to. It said to shape it into a rectangle, and I thought it meant roll it, so I tried to roll it. It didn't work. I reread the directions, and it said to shape it with your hands, so that's what I did. So then you wrap it in saran wrap, and you stick it in the fridge. Oh, if you hadn't figured out by now, we're making croissant rolls. Why is it taking me so long to wrap this? There, finally. So now we're gonna roll out our butter block. Except for in this case, I couldn't find a butter block, so I just had to put 4 sticks together. Which, 10 out of 10, do not recommend. Okay, I digress. So once you've rolled out your butter block, you're gonna put it in the fridge. You're gonna get your dough from the fridge, and then you're going to roll it out into a 12-inch rectangle. Although by the time I got done rolling this out and messing around with it, it ended up looking more like a circle, and I had to cut the edges to kind of try and make it look like a square, but it still didn't look like a square, although I was supposed to be doing a rectangle. Anyway, now you're gonna add your 6-inch butter rectangle onto your 12-inch dough rectangle. Are we keeping up? Okay, so then you're gonna fold your dough over the butter rectangle. The directions say fold it like an envelope, so I thought it had to be completely sealed, and so that's why you'll notice that the ends are folded over as well. So once it is folded over, then you roll it real thin, and then you fold it a different way, like folding a letter, so the instructions say. And then just like before, we're gonna wrap it in saran wrap, and we're gonna put it back in the fridge. And then we are going to repeat this step 2 to 3 more times. It explains in the directions that the more that you roll and fold, the more layers that you will create in your croissant rolls. And I would like to point out that this recipe calls for all-purpose flour, but I do believe that bread flour would make a lighter dough to work with, because this was an absolute nightmare to roll out. It wasn't soft and pliable at all, but hey, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. I've never made croissants before. Day 2. Y'all, I have been working on this dough for like what feels like ever. So last night, by the time I got done with the last folding and put it in the fridge, that was the step that you were supposed to like roll it back out and cut it into triangles. And I was like, it is too late. I am ready for bed. So I just left it in the fridge. Maybe I have already ruined these croissants. Maybe this video is going to be what not to do when baking homemade croissants. It says that you should roll it out to 1/4 of an inch thick. My mama Googled it, and she was like, oh, it says get a pencil, and the width of the pencil laying down is almost exact to 1/4 of an inch. Good enough. I am going to tell you, buy a block of butter. Now it says, sharp knife or pizza cutter to trim the edges and cut triangles roughly 5 inches wide. I can't even get my mind to visualize triangles right now. That's a triangle. How many triangles? 12 to 15 standard croissants. We're just committing. I'm just going to commit. There's going to be all kinds of wrong. Oh, I should not be cutting on this board. How wide a triangle? Because, you know, triangles can be very skinny or very... The variety of triangles. How? Now, the rolling. This way. Because it says roll. Croissant. So hit the forward wind button. Let's speed this up. So if you're wondering what I'm doing here, I'm actually rolling these triangles a little bit thinner because they seem like they were really, really thick, and I'm not sure that they were supposed to be that thick. I don't know how big these are supposed to get, so I don't know how far to space them. Okay, now it says cover and let rest for about 2 hours. It has been 2 hours. Okay, now it says egg wash them and bake them at 400 for about 18 to 22 minutes. Okay, so one of many lessons learned in this journey of making homemade croissants. Do not bake your croissant dough on a flat cookie sheet. No, you want a lipped cookie sheet because apparently the butter tends to seep out and it will boil over the flat cookie sheet and down into the bottom of your oven, where it will smoke out your entire kitchen.
Definitely one.
The dough is a little bit dense. It is flaky.